Hello world, Dano here, stacking paper as always, and today we are finally finishing the read-along of Will of the Many. Honest moment here, I've read this book, finished this book over a month ago. I've just been so fucking lazy with putting out this video, because I just didn't want to write out the notes, but I'm just going to wing it. You know, it's been a while now, so there's stuff I forget, but I do remember the major points because... spoilers, this book is fucking amazing, and it's going to stick with me for a while anyway. So I'm just going to kind of speed blitz through it and hopefully hit all the major points and not miss anything. So we catch up going to Seuss. Viz starts fucking tweaking, obviously. The PTSD starts hitting him like a truck. He meets Fadrique, who is this old advisor of his father that is now working for the Empire. So Viz hates that. He's like, this guy's a fucking sellout. He meets the Dimidus, who is Indol's father. Seems like a pretty straightforward, powerful but chill character. Him and Indol seem to have a pretty good relationship, even though it's revealed later that they actually fucking hate each other's guts, and Indol's not going to join military, at least from Amisa's perspective. Then we get the first kind of pretty intense moment where Amisa is swimming alone in this lagoon, and Indol's like, man, you should have taken up her offer to join her. Like, that girl wants to fucking bang for sure. And Viz, knowing what that lagoon actually is, immediately starts sprinting because it's like a tide pool that once the high tide comes in, it pulls you out and you're fucking dying. So Viz has his superhero moment, jumps off a fucking cliff, saves her. You know, they hang out in a cave, they fuck, you know, all the story beats you expected. So there's that happening. And then at the same time, Viz is now, he's staying in the palace, which is where he used to live as a kid, but it's been completely taken over. All of the art's been destroyed. It's now just the way I like to think of it is you had this beautiful cathedral and then it just got destroyed and you get a corporate building after, right? This is where this book gets so good because the political layering is great because Viz is just being used by so many different people here. So Olcizor shows up and is basically like, hey, you have to run that labyrinth, the one that's in the fucking mountain. Or I'm throwing your ass in the sapper. I don't fucking care. You said you'd risk your life. That's what it is. And you're going to do it during the Odysseum because that's your best chance. Olcizor is just he's a man on a mission, but you can tell the pain of him losing his brother has just gotten him to the point where he just doesn't fucking care who he has to use or kill to get there. And Lanistia is so upset. Clearly, she's actually on Viz's side. And then at the same time, you have Sedocia, who is using Viz and telling him that he has to spy on this secret meeting with the Dimidus and whatever the third level is. Oh god, I'm forgetting everything. But anyways, the high ranking guys. Viz uses the tunnels. He spies on them. He finds out that military is actually funding the Ongius, which is fucking crazy to think about because it's why would they be funding a faction that's actively trying to overthrow the Empire? But the reasoning that James Islington gives is so fucking brilliant, and it's that military is actually losing influence in the Senate because there's nothing left to conquer. They've conquered there's no peoples left to conquer, so why would military continue to have influence if they literally have nothing to do? It's kind of like cities, municipalities and let's say the police force in I don't know where I live, the Toronto area. They constantly have to justify their budget, so they just spend money on shit that they don't actually need just so that they get the same budget next year. It's kind of like that, where they're funding this rebel faction in order to just prove to the rest of the Senate that they still need to exist, but they're sacrificing civilian lives in the process. It's so fucked up, but it makes so much sense, and it's really well thought out. I loved that aspect. And then as he's leaving the tunnel, Fadrique catches him out, and they have this conversation, and Fadrique basically tells him, hey man, I'm still on the people of Seuss's side. I'm not a sellout. I'm basically just a man on the inside. And, if I wasn't in here, the people would be getting treated way worse. And you can see Fadrique is treated like shit by the people of Seuss, at least outwardly. But there was a scene earlier where he brought Viz into a bar to like be revealed to all the people there, and all the people there know he's actually Diago, but they play it off super cool. So and then Fadrique takes him to like this treasure trove of things that he managed to salvage before Katanan came in and destroyed everything. And it's like toys that he used to have, and it's like this really emotional moment. I loved that. Him and Viz stay up like all night talking. But then before they leave, I know I'm missing something. Anyways, other stuff from like the eavesdropping of the meeting. Viz figures out like which members are, that they're suspicious of, so that he writes them down to potentially use them for blackmail later. And I guess that's the only other thing that came out of that meeting. And then whatever he's going to tell Sadosha. But yeah, before they leave Seuss, Indel, being the smart motherfucker that he is, he asks Viz, like, hey, how did you know about that lagoon, that high tide lagoon? Like, yes, you saved her life. Excuse me. Fuck. Ruined the video. Anyways, he's like, yeah, you saved her life, but basically the only way that you could have known that is if you're from Seuss. And Viz is freezing up. He's kind of freaking out, like, holy shit, I'm about to get caught out. But Indel comes to the conclusion that he's just a peasant, and that's why he wouldn't want people to know, because he'd be embarrassed. And Viz is like, exhale, like, okay, he didn't guess that I'm from like the royal family or anything. So he's like, yeah, no, you're right, plays it off. Brilliant. They go back to the island, and they basically announce that the Udicium is going to happen very soon. So Viz needs to get into class 3 quick. So the way he does it is he devises this ingenious fucking scheme where he's going to get Belly and catch her out, because it's revealed that Belly has been holding Calidus ransom this whole fucking time, because Calidus shared with Viz earlier that because of the census data that he knows, because his dad is like the head censor, that all the kids who are at the top of the class, like they all, like a good chunk of them get killed every year in mysterious accidents that they just play off. And he initially told this to Belly because he loved her and he trusted her. She gets that information, steals the documents from his room, and basically uses that to blackmail him and say, you have to stay in class 7, don't ascend, or I'm going to reveal that you had all this information, and then you're going to get fucking excommunicated, and, you're fucked. So Viz, the fucking genius that he is, him and Amisa have like a game of Foundation and make it so Belly comes to watch, and Viz completely sandbags, throws, plays like shit. Belly's talking shit the whole time. And he goes, well, why don't we play? Let's put some fucking a wager on the line. He basically says that he'll join, I can't remember if Belly's from governance or religion. I think it's governance. He says he's going to join governance if he loses to her. And he puts some other stuff online. He basically puts her in a situation where she can't refuse because she's the best Foundation player. But low-key, Viz is way better than all of them because they used to play Foundation in Seuss before Katanan ever even played the game. So he's like Grandmaster level. And he starts playing this game with her, and it's such a brilliant match. And then it comes to a point where they kind of both realize that he's going to beat her. And he kind of whispers to her, he's like, hey, listen, you're going to fucking lose right now. So here's what's going to happen. I know you have those documents that you're holding over Calidus's head. You're going to take a break right now. You're going to take Calidus up there, get those documents and give it back to him, or I'm going to beat you right now. If you do that, I'll let you win. It's like, holy shit. So she goes and does it, and then she comes back to the table, and he continues to just keep beating her anyway. And she's like, what are you doing? And he goes, consequences, bitch. Holy crap, what a moment. That might actually be my favorite moment of the book, even though like crazier shit happens like afterwards. That moment was fucking brilliant. It was so satisfying. The catharsis was crazy. And this is just one of the things that he does so well in this book. Like, the characters are so well fleshed out that you feel these fucking moments between them. And anyway, he beats Belly. Also, the I forget the word for them now. The teachers, I guess, whatever. They're watching, so they have to ascend him to third. Like, they don't have a choice. So he gets to class 3. The Odysseum starts happening. He has to choose 2/4 to be on his side, or not 2/4, but 2 of any other members. And obviously, all the thirds are going to choose 4ths because they're the highest level. But Viz obviously chooses Idhin and Calidus. And Calidus says, okay, no problem, I'll join. But Idhin doesn't. He says, I can't join you, because after he chooses the members, Veritas takes all the people you chose as your teammates, takes them aside and basically gives them like an offer, saying like, if you fuck over your guy, I'll give you something. And so Idhin tells Viz, I can't be part of your team. And Viz is like super hurt, but he kind of puts it together like, oh, Veritas must have offered him something that was so good that he can't refuse. It's probably something to do with like his family back home. And so Idhin, like the fucking king he is like, listen, I will be too tempted. Like, I can't be on your team. So who does he choose now? He has to choose Aqua, the other girl that fucked him over. And it's like, holy crap. What a twist. The Odysseum starts happening. It's basically a Hunger Games setup, but way more complicated. I'm not going to get into exactly how this shit works because it is pretty complex. And if you're watching this video, you've watched it anyway. But essentially, whoever has done better in the class basically gets more information. They're playing a game where they're hunting each other and tracking each other and trying to steal this like medallion. But there's also like, I don't even know how to word this, like not referees, but other people that are tracking them the whole time to make sure they don't cheat and all that stuff. It starts happening. And mind you, Viz has to go run this fucking secret labyrinth in the middle of this somehow. He has to figure that out. So before it starts, Veritas says any of the people that are on teams can switch teams and fuck over the other people if they want to. And if one of the teammates wins, then their guy loses. It's really convoluted. I don't want to get too into it, but it's a really cool setup. I thought it was awesome. But it starts, some cool shit happens. You know, Viz gets some nice comeuppance on both Belly and what's his name? Not Indol, but the other guy that hates him. I forget his name, but yeah, because Belly, even though she got demoted to class 4, she gets picked by one of the other guys, the other guy that hates him. I'm so sorry to anyone who's watching this because I've forgotten so many names, but he gets some nice comeuppance on them. And then Viz breaks off from Calidus and Aqua and goes to run this gauntlet. And who does he find there? Belly is in the labyrinth dead. So she ran it, or I guess after she got kicked out, she was forced to run it. It's not really explained. Viz makes it through. He gets to the other side, and some trippy fucking shit starts happening. He goes into this mechanism that just like puts him in so much pain. But he has to do it because he's surrounded by all these bodies, these like reanimated corpses. It's not really explained what happens to him. His arm is fucking killing him. He then has to run the labyrinth back the other way to escape. Barely makes it out. Only makes it out because of this wolf cub that is now a grown wolf that I completely blanked this. He befriended a wolf creature at some point, and this grown-up wolf creature saves him. I totally blanked on that, but I mean, it was cool. I liked it. So he runs the labyrinth, doesn't really get much information out of it, escapes, and now I'm not sure if the reveal came before or after. Basically, they jump one of the proctors that are kind of refereeing the match, they have like a master tracker that can track everybody, and they jump them and steal it. But then it's revealed that those proctors are actually Ongius this whole time. They've infiltrated the game and they start just fucking killing off kids. And like Viz and Aqua and Calidus, they're all fighting for their lives at this point. And he meets up with an Ongius member, the guy that was talking to Sadosha during that festival. And he basically tells him, hey, Amisa's at the top of that tower. She's being held by one of our members. Like, if you want to save her, now's the time. So he goes, he fights a will-imbued guy and wins. But in the last moment, Amisa demands his medallion, right? And he's like, you didn't have to beg me for it. That's fine. You can have it. Gives it to her, and then she fucking will imbues a knife and whips it at him and literally tries to kill him. He starts toppling off this tower. Magically survives. And I'm not going to say this is some like Deus Ex Machina, but it is implied that after he ran that gauntlet, that labyrinth, he has like these regeneration powers all of a sudden. Like things that should kill him just aren't. But he's saved by his wolf cub again, which, I mean, I found that a little wishy-washy, but I'll let it slide. But now he realizes he has to go save Calidus because he left Calidus alone, and the Ongius are everywhere. He runs up on him. Actually, he runs up on Indol first and basically tells him, because he knows where Indol is, and says like, hey man, this game got infiltrated. You all need to leave right now. And luckily enough, Indol is a smart enough guy to realize like he's not lying. And so he finds Calidus and he's fucked up. He's in a bad way. And oh man, this scene, him carrying Calidus on his back all the way back to the school where he knows everyone's probably gathered. They all think he's dead. And it's just, oh man, it's so heartbreaking how Calidus dies. It's not in a bang. They're having a conversation the whole time, and then like at some point Calidus just runs out of breath and that's it. And it's fucking heartbreaking. And when he gets back to the school, he looks at Amisa immediately and is like, you're going to fucking burn for this. Like, it's your fault that my best friend is now dead, you piece of shit. Oh, man, it's brutal. And then the book ends with a crazy fucking twist. So he wakes up 5 days later. Viridius is there with him, and he's like, listen, don't fucking play with me. I saw the markings on by the way, his arm is gone. He now is missing an arm. He's like, I know what happened. You ran the fucking labyrinth, didn't you? He's like, okay. Well, you have to pledge yourself to religion because these people are going to know what you did and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, just, you need to do that. Because he's Domitor. He won the game, so to speak. So the guys come in, the head, I don't even know exactly where they're from. They're like head guys from the mainland. And they're like, okay, so who are you going to pledge yourself to? He says the censor, to work with Calidus' father. Viridius is pissed at this and tells him, like, you don't know what the fuck you did. Like, this is much bigger than you or me or anything. It's like we're trying to prevent a cataclysm here. And Viz just goes, you know what, man? Fuck you. Like, you've been using kids, killing kids to try to find information for yourself. And, we are going to have to work with each other at some point, but not fucking now. I don't like you. Like, that's it. Viridius goes, okay, I guess we'll figure it out. And he looks at his bedside and he finds like a wooden ship that is a wooden ship that he made when he was a kid, and it has his name inside of it. So someone put that there. We don't know who. Someone put it there. And then we get the crazy shit. The last chapter, it's only a couple pages, which basically reveals what happened when he went into that mechanism. His body, it seems like, got cloned, or like there's different dimensions and he existed in multiple dimensions at once. One of those dimensions is like he's in way back in the past, and there's like literally like a volcano erupting. There's like peasants walking up to him, like crazy shit's happening. And in the other dimension, he meets Carrior, Ulcaesor's brother. He's not dead. He's just in a fucking alternate world. And that's why that writing was carved inside of him, because he literally forced him to carve it himself so that he stays there. So we don't know what he learns, but we just know Kara is alive. Multiple dimensions are clearly a thing, and holy shit, this book fucking rocks. I'm sorry if this review was like a lot less detailed than the other two, but yeah, like, I'll be honest, this book, it's not anything unique in the sense that everything that's in this book, it's all like classic fantasy tropes. You know, you got dark academia, you got the long lost prince coming back to smite the people that wrecked him, you got a fucking magic school, you got, you know, deep politics and like governance structure and intrigue and all that. But it's all these parts of fantasy done really well. So it's nothing unique on its own, but when you put it all together, it's just done at such a high quality level that, yeah, this is like clearly a 5-star book. Like, this is like a 9 out of 10 at least. The more I think about it, the better I actually think of it. It's probably going to be a 10 out of 10 book for me, but S tier, absolutely sure. Can't recommend it enough. I'm super excited for the second book, which I believe comes out like this week. I don't think I'm going to read it for a while, but I'm definitely going to get it immediately. So yeah, Will of the Many, James Islington, whatever the fuck. Amazing book. Absolutely incredible book. And super excited for the next one. I'm going to do another review now that is definitely not going to be as positive as this one. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, until next time, take it easy.